Welcome to this week's episode of Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobby Leanne. We'll keep it here on GLWS as we bring you all the action happening around Rodeo, Nebraska. Spotlight cowboy who is making a name for himself in the steer wrestling, as well as a quick blast from the past from Rodeo, Nebraska. Well, several athletes from the Good Life state were on the rodeo road this past week. Let's catch up with our pro rodeo announcer, Jared Slagle, for the pro rodeo update.
As we take a look at this week's Good Life Western Sports Pro Rodeo Update at the PRCA Championship Rodeo in Bismarck, North Dakota, we go to the Rough Rider State. It was O'Neill's Riley Wakefield capturing the all-around title, winning over $1,700 and competing in both the tie-down and the team roping. Riles is number 3 in the all-around standings in the Badlands Circuit. Staying in North Dakota in the bareback riding, we find Ellesmere, Nebraska Nate McFadden placing 7th, putting him in the top 5 in the Badlands Circuit. Also in the bareback riding is Gearing, Nebraska resident, and Canadian birthright Orrin Larson having luck with the 7ths. He was 7th in the average, 7th in round number 1, and 7th in round number 3 at the Southwestern Exposition and Livestock Show in Fort Worth. He was the number 2 man in the final round, and he grabs a little over $2,800 out of the Lone Star State. At Rodeo Rapid City, Orrin finishes 7th with over $3,000 in his pocket. He's now the 29th ranked cowboy in the bareback riding world standings. In the steer wrestling, Del Crappie of Bridgeport places 5th in Bismarck. At Fort Worth, Drew Melvin from Hebron places 2nd in the first round with a 4.1. He captures over $4,100. Also in Fort Worth, the Nebraska native, now living in Oklahoma, Royce Johnson, places 8th in the second round. Keeping the theme of placing 8th was Valentine's Jake Fulton, who was 8th at Rodeo Rapid City. Continuing on in Rodeo Rapid City in the Extreme Bronc Riding match, which is a standalone bronc riding event, Ellesmere's Court Shear was 7th in the first round. Court is the 28th ranked saddle bronc rider in the world. In the team roping, it was Riley Wakefield and his partner Scott White from South Dakota placing 2nd in Bismarck, gaining $1,100 a man. Riley is now 5th in the Badland Heelers. Riley also places 4th in the tie-down roping in Bismarck, where he moves into the number 6 spot in the circuit. Cody Henderson from Alliance also places in the tie-down roping in Bismarck, ending up 6th. In the WPRA Women's Barrel Racing, Pam Hollenbeck from Long Pine races to a 10th place finish in Bismarck. In the bull riding, it was Chasen Cole, a Chadron State cowboy, finishing 5th in Bismarck, and Bart Miller from Pleasanton was 3rd at Rodeo Rapid City, winning over $2,500 and moving up to the 2nd place position in the Badlands Circuit. Kenny Beringer was featured as one of our contract personnel as a flankman this past week at Fort Worth Stock Show. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this week's update. On behalf of all the great people at Good Life Western Sports, this is your pro rodeo voice, Jared Slagle. You stay classy, Nebraska, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Jared. When we return, we will meet a cowboy who is making a name for himself in the steer wrestling, as well as a blast from the past of Rodeo, Nebraska. All happening here on GLWS when we return.
L&H Livestock Feed Equipment is the elite manufacturer of quality farm and ranch equipment. Headquartered in Hastings, Nebraska, with dealers located throughout the Midwest. With over 30 years of experience, L&H takes pride in only using the best materials and finest craftsmanship to produce top quality farm and ranch equipment. For more information and to find a dealer near you, visit lhmfg.com.
Are you cool to flex fuel? 1 in 7 Nebraskans is driving a flex fuel vehicle, and many don't even realize it. With a flex fuel vehicle, you can fill up with any blend of American ethanol and gasoline, from E10 to E15, from E30 to E85, at any time, in any amount. Look for an insignia on your trunk or tailgate. You might have a yellow gas cap, or check your owner's manual. If you're cool to flex fuel, then look for a flex fuel pump in your neighborhood. Flex fuel blends with American ethanol.
Welcome back to Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobby Leanne. Coming from a family of well-accomplished steer wrestlers, this ranch raised cowboy is making a name for himself. Meet Athlete Spotlight, Tyler Ravenscroft.
I'm Tyler Ravenscroft. I'm from Ninsel, Nebraska. I bulldog, calf rope, and team rope. Well, I mean, it was kind of a family ordeal. My uncle's Sean Mulligan, he's a bulldogger. My dad was a bulldogger. My grandpa was a bulldogger. As you can tell, steer wrestling's my favorite event. It kind of big shoes to fill, but I mean, I really enjoy it. It gives me the opportunity to get to know some of the guys out in the big platform, and just gives me the opportunity to learn and be comfortable in these positions. I mean, freshman year, I qualified for nationals. Last year I ended up short. I was alternate to nationals. And this year it's been going pretty good. I'm leading the state and been pretty successful with my steer wrestling. Top 10 in the calf roping, and top 30 in the team rope. I think this was just a great opportunity. I mean, I went to the Bulldog Jackpot in Sutherland. That's how I got qualified. Didn't go to any other qualifiers, just made it in, I think, the 39th spot. Just clean slate here. I thought I'd just come and try it and just get a taste of big platform rodeo. Major support. I mean, he supports. I mean, before every run, he tells me to take no prisoners, and that's just go in with that mentality. Sometimes come out on top, sometimes you don't. But yeah, Bill just supported me a lot. I've been over there to practice quite a few times. Just incredible the opportunity he gives us kids. I'm Tyler Ravenscroft, Good Life Western Sports.
We wish Tyler the best of luck this upcoming spring rodeo season. Well, after the break, we will take a trip back in time for Rodeo, Nebraska.
Rock and Sea Animal Chiropractic is dedicated to helping improve your horse's overall health performance. Dr. Crabtree incorporates chiropractic, low-level laser therapy, myofascial, and nutritional therapy to accelerate your horse's ability to heal and get back in the ring. Rock and Sea is mobile and travels the state to bring your horse the excellent care they deserve. Call Rock and Sea Animal Chiropractic today at 402-276-1348. 8 words to remember: we can work on you and the horse you rode in on.
L&H Livestock Feed Equipment is the elite manufacturer of quality farm and ranch equipment. Headquartered in Hastings, Nebraska, with dealers located throughout the Midwest. With over 30 years of experience, L&H takes pride in only using the best materials and finest craftsmanship to produce top quality farm and ranch equipment. For more information and to find a dealer near you, visit lhmfg.com.
Welcome back to Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobby Leanne. This week is the first of many that we release a few new features on Good Life Western Sports throughout the next few months. And as the Rodeo Nebraska continues to evolve, it's always great to step back and reflect on where we've been. And this week we are going to take a blast from the past to the Sandhills Rodeo Roundup held in Mullen, Nebraska. We ran across a few rodeo programs from the 1957 and couldn't help but share them with you. Check them out right here. Our new segment, Blast from the Past, is just one of the many features that we'll be rolling out in 2018. Stay tuned to Good Life Western Sports for more news features and rodeo news updates. Also, if you are watching this and you have not liked the Good Life Western Sports Facebook page, I highly suggest you do so you can keep up with us and all the happenings around Rodeo, Nebraska right here on GLWS. Thanks again for joining me on this week's episode of Good Life Western Sports, and be sure to tune in next week as we highlight rodeo across Nebraska. For Good Life Western Sports, I'm Bobby Leanne.